She thought he was just another tired, hungry man who couldn't afford a meal. But with one small act of kindness, she changed her entire life without even knowing it. It was a slow, rainy afternoon at the corner diner where Mia worked. She was in her early 20s, juggling school bills, her mom's medical expenses, and 2 jobs just to stay afloat. But no matter how tired she felt, she always greeted customers with a smile. That day, she noticed an older man walk in, drenched from the rain, his coat thin and worn out. He looked like he hadn't had a warm meal in days. Mia watched as he sat quietly in the back corner, his eyes scanning the menu without really reading it. She approached him gently and asked if he was ready to order. He gave a small, awkward smile and said, "Just a coffee, please. That's all I can manage today." Something about his voice, the tiredness in it, the way he avoided her eyes, tugged at her heart. Without saying much, Mia went back to the kitchen and plated up a hot meal, grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, and a slice of pie. She placed it in front of him with the coffee and simply said, "Don't worry about it. It's on the house." The man looked up in surprise, his eyes suddenly watery. "Thank you," he said quietly, his voice cracking. "You don't know what this means to me." Mia just smiled and moved on to the next table, brushing it off as something anyone would have done. To her, it was a small act of kindness. To him, it was everything. She didn't know his name, his story, or where he was going next. She just knew he looked like someone who needed a little bit of warmth that day. What Mia didn't realize was that this one simple gesture would completely change her life. A few days passed, and Mia had forgotten about the old man. Her life had returned to its usual rhythm, long shifts, aching feet, and counting tips at the end of the day. But on Friday afternoon, something unusual happened. A black car pulled up outside the diner, and a well-dressed man stepped out. He wore a crisp suit, polished shoes, and carried an expensive-looking umbrella. Everyone turned to look. He didn't match the usual crowd. Mia, wiping down a table, noticed him immediately, but didn't recognize him at first. It wasn't until he sat down and gave her a kind smile that something clicked. "Coffee?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. He nodded. "And maybe some grilled chicken and mashed potatoes, if it's still on the house," he said warmly. Mia froze for a second. It was him, the same man from a few days ago, only now he looked like a completely different person, clean, confident, and important. "You clean up well," she joked, trying to hide her surprise. He chuckled. Sometimes people only see the suit and forget there's a person underneath. They spoke a little while she refilled his coffee. He asked about her job, her studies, and her dreams. Mia felt seen, like someone actually cared. Before he left, he placed a small white card on the table. "If you ever need help, call this number," he said. She glanced at the card. No name, just a logo of a hotel chain she had only seen on TV ads. A luxury brand far beyond her world. As the door closed behind him, Mia stood still, holding the card. Who was this man? Why did he care? And what did he mean by "if you ever need help"? Mia kept the card tucked safely inside her wallet, but her mind couldn't stop thinking about it. Who was that man really? And why would someone like him, clearly rich and powerful, care about a small-town waitress like her? Days passed, and the diner got busier with the holidays coming up. Mia's hands ached from carrying heavy trays. Her shoes were wearing out, and every shift felt longer than the last. One night, after a particularly hard day, she opened her wallet to pay for her bus ride and the card slipped out. She stared at it, heart pounding. Then, without thinking too much, she dialed the number. A soft voice answered. "Hello, Mia. We've been expecting your call." Confused and a bit nervous, Mia asked who she was speaking to. The voice politely told her to come to the central office of Alonzo Hotels the next day. Unsure, but curious, she agreed. The next morning, Mia stood in front of a tall glass building, her hands shaking. She felt out of place in her worn jeans and simple coat. Inside, the receptionist smiled warmly and led her to a private office. To her shock, the same man from the diner walked in, this time with several people behind him. "Mia," he said kindly, "you showed kindness when no one else did. I own this hotel chain, and I'm looking for people with heart to join our management training program. It's a paid opportunity with full support for your education and growth." Mia's eyes widened in disbelief. She wasn't just being offered a job, she was being offered a future. Tears welled in her eyes for once. Life wasn't just about surviving, it was about becoming something more. Mia's life changed almost overnight. From carrying plates at the diner to sitting in a classroom with future hotel managers. It felt like stepping into another world. The company provided her with everything: clothes, books, even a small apartment close to the training center. But adjusting wasn't easy. She felt out of place among confident young professionals, many of whom came from wealthy families. At times, their polished English and expensive clothes made her feel small again. But Mia reminded herself why she started, not for fame or money, but for the chance to build a better life for her and her little brother. She studied late into the night, always sitting in the front row, asking questions even when her voice trembled. The same man who once walked into the diner, Mr. Alonso, often checked on her quietly. He never treated her like a charity case. Instead, he reminded her, "You earned this, Mia," with nothing but kindness and strength. Slowly, her confidence grew. She became friends with other trainees, helped those who struggle, and even led a group project that impressed the top executives. What truly made Mia stand out wasn't just her work, it was her compassion, her patience, and the way she treated every hotel guest like family. Her story began to spread quietly through the company. That girl used to be a waitress. Some whispered, not mockingly, but with admiration. Mia, however, never let success change her heart. She still called her brother every night, still remembered the regulars at the diner, and still believed that small acts of kindness could change lives, just like they had changed hers. Years passed, and Mia became one of the youngest regional managers in the hotel chain. Her photo now hung in the company's Hall of Fame, not because she was the smartest, but because she had the biggest heart. One day, while visiting a new branch under construction, Mia stopped by a small diner for lunch. As she sat quietly in a corner, a tired waitress approached her table. The woman's smile was warm, but her eyes looked exhausted, the same look Mia once had. When Mia finished her meal, she quietly left a generous tip with a handwritten note. "Kindness is never forgotten. One day, it will return to you. Keep going." She walked out without revealing who she was. Back at headquarters, Mr. Alonso smiled as he watched Mia lead meetings and mentor new employees. "You remind me of someone I met years ago," he once told her with a wink. Mia laughed but said nothing. Deep down, she knew how far she had come, not because someone gave her a shortcut, but because someone believed in her when she had nothing. And now, it was her turn to believe in others. On her next visit to the old diner she once worked in, the owner greeted her like a daughter. "We tell your story to every new girl who joins," he said proudly. That day, Mia didn't wear a suit or carry a briefcase. She rolled up her sleeves and helped serve food, just like old times. Because no matter how high she rose, Mia never forgot the ground she started on. Her story wasn't just about success. It was about kindness, dignity, and the unexpected power of helping someone who looks like they have nothing, but may be carrying the heart of a future leader. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who believes in kindness. Subscribe to Human Fables for more inspiring real-life stories that stay with you forever.